Los Angeles studios. I'm Malika Andrews here with Stephen A. Smith and Jalen Rose. We need to break down what just happened between the Bucks and the Celtics. Jalen, what did you learn about the defending champions here?
First off, I learned never to pick against them because you taught me that. The second thing is the evolution of Giannis to becoming the best player in basketball and how he does it in multiple phases. Here you see him. This is the one leg step back jumper from the free throw line. Stephen A. Smith. This is also Giannis, the pass to Bobby Portis, making his teammates around him better. And then again, off the backboard, just the Greek freak doing what he does. So these Milwaukee Bucks are really showing up without Chris Middleton. They put on the show against the Boston Celtics.
Stephen A., the bigger lesson for you, was it coming out of Milwaukee or Boston?
It's out of Boston. I mean, you got to hit perimeter shots, otherwise you've got no chance in the series. They have nothing in the interior offensively. They're completely helpless against Milwaukee. They're completely undersized. That is their issue. There is no way around it.
Big issue. Welcome inside our Los Angeles studios here with Stephen A. Smith and Jalen Rose. I'm Malika Andrews. So the Bucks are up 10. They closed out that half on an 11-3 run. So let's talk about this game. Obviously, Marcus Smart leaving, holding his shoulder or arm. That is very concerning, Jalen. But what do you change between quarter one and quarter two that allowed this run for Milwaukee?
Stephen A. always talk about people being box office. Jason Tatum was that in the previous series. He needs to be that also in this series. He and Jaylen Brown struggled mightily against the height, the versatility, and the athleticism of Giannis, Lopez, and Bobby Portis. If the bigs of the Celtics aren't going to give you offense, they got to find a way to knock down their open shots at least so they can spread the floor.
I picked the Boston Celtics to win this series in 7 games. It's the first half, and I'm damn near ready to change my mind. Let me tell you how scared. Let me tell you how scared I am from what I'm seeing. Boston can get absolutely nothing in the interior. I mean, everything in the interior. Giannis and Lopez are saying, get that nonsense out of here. Meanwhile, what did I say pregame? I talked about Giannis's passing ability. What he's going to do is he's going to draw attention. He's going to kick it out to shooters. What did, Grayson Allen and Pat Connaughton do in the first half? They combined to hit 5 threes. These guys could hit perimeter shots. Portis hit the 3 as well. They're a threat in that regard. They seem bigger. They seem more physical, and they're patrolling the paint. All Boston's doing is shoot perimeter shots.
So you meaning Giannis is the best player in basketball?
I'm not going there.
Not to mention they cleaned up their turnovers from Antetokounmpo. He averaged 29 points, 13 rebounds, 6 assists in the Bucks' first-round series against the Bulls. In fact, over the last 10 playoff games for Giannis, he's averaged 33.4 points per game on 60% shooting. Only one player has done better over a 10-game span in NBA history. That would be Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. So the Celtics, they had their way with KD. That was for the most part, right, last round. How effective, Jalen, can they be against Giannis?
I think they got a chance to be extremely effective against Giannis because he doesn't have Chris Middleton to take a lot of ball handling responsibilities, clutch responsibilities, initiating offensive pressure responsibilities off of him. But unlike KD, he ain't going to stop being aggressive. You remember we were talking about how KD only attempted 1 shot in the 4th quarter? A lot of times the physicality of the Boston Celtics took him further away from the basket and knocked him off balance. The one thing that Giannis is not going to allow is that people to take him further away from the basket and knock him off balance. He's going to be going towards that basket. He's going to be aggressive. I expect him to be dominant, but it's going to be tough to get enough offense without Middleton. I don't see Pat Connaughton having the kind of series and Grayson Allen having the kind of series against the Bulls that they have.
I'm very disappointed at what Jalen Rose just said. Listen, but bottom line is this. I think Boston, I'm going to go with Boston to win this series in 7 games. Don't get me wrong. But what I'm saying is that one of the things that we have to pay attention to is the passer we have witnessed Giannis become. Now, Grayson Allen's hitting shots now. All right, Pat Connaughton's hitting shots now. Drew Holiday been hitting shots all season now. Bobby Portis is no scrub. I've been telling you about him, okay? And you got Brook Lopez back who can hit perimeter shots. So what I'm saying is if Giannis draws the attention, what I have faith in is in Boston's ability to get out on shooters, which I think on most nights it'll work for them, meaning 4 games out of 7. But there's going to be 2 or 3 nights when these brothers in Milwaukee are going to get a bit loose, which is what's going to make them a thrilling series. And Giannis is going to be the catalyst in all of that because he's going to draw the attention. He's going to finish at the basket in some instances, but in a lot more instances, he's going to kick it out to these guys. And they better not look like they looked against Chicago, because if they do, Boston will lose this series.
What do you think, Michael Wilbon?
Look, I know Giannis has greatly evolved since that 2000, what year was it? 19 series
Toronto.
against Toronto.
Yep.
When they walled him off. Malika, I know you were in a lot of that series. They walled him off. They made Giannis change and evolve as a player. I see more of that. Look, defense travels. I don't care what sport we're talking about. When you play the kind of suffocating defense the Boston Celtics played against Brooklyn, people can decide that was on KD and he was inadequate and he had the worst series of his life, blah, 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 blah. He was harassed into that. He and Kyrie Irving. So don't tell me they can't do that to Giannis without Middleton after they just did it to KD and Kyrie. Yeah. Yes, Boston's defense can do that. That defense will travel. And I think Milwaukee's in for some hurt. The Bulls don't have any interior defense whatsoever. Whatever we saw Grayson Allen and all those guys do against the Bulls, just forget that. Wipe that clean. It means nothing. The Boston Celtics defense, to me, and whether or not they can do to Giannis what they did to KD, that's the story of this series, the question of this series.
Giannis ain't getting shut down.
That's what I'm saying. What's wrong with Will Bond? What's wrong with him?
And this is why Giannis is not getting shut down. Are you guys old enough to remember when people were counting Giannis down at the free throw line?
All of last year.
He actually improved his game, and that's not an issue anymore. He improved his mid-range, and he's a competent three-point shooter. He's going to get his. I just don't know if they're going to have enough overall.
I don't appreciate Jalen asking such a rhetorical question as whether or not are you old enough. You know we're both, me and Will Bond are both old enough. I mean, you did that on purpose, Jalen. You did that on purpose.
Well, one thing to keep an eye on.
Let me just say this.
A week ago,
nobody would have convinced you guys that KD would be handled like he was.
It's true story.
Right? Best player on the planet is what I heard.
Yes, sir.
All right? So, again, I'm the first to acknowledge Giannis is greatly evolved, Jalen, just like you said, from that Toronto series. But, man, that Celtic defense, I mean, come on now. That looks like Jalen. You can identify. Looks like the old
in defense, Michael Wilbon, in this postseason. Guess who's been number one? The Milwaukee Bucks. Why don't we go for a little walk here, Jalen?
Let's get it. Let's make people some money.
Here's what we're going to do. We're going to make some predictions brought to you by DraftKings. So, Jalen, this is how it goes. I'm going to give you a little scenario here. Hopefully the lights can come up. I'm going to give you a little scenario, and you're going to tell the world if it will or will not happen, all right? You're the expert here.
Let's
so the Bucks and the Celtics, this is scenario number one. They will combine for 218 or more points. True or false?
Ooh, it's going to be physical, right? The bigs up front with Giannis and Lopez, and Stephen A. mentioned Bobby Portis, and we got the Time Lord, Al Horford and Williams. Take the under.
Ooh.
Under 218, going to be a physical game.
Okay, here we go. Jason Tatum will drop 31 or more points versus the Bucks and Giannis.
How about this? He was getting those kind of numbers against Kevin Durant. And this team is now going to have Pat Connaughton and Grayson Allen guarding him without Chris Middleton. He'll score 31 points.
Okay. Can I give you one more?
Yes, indeed.
All right, Giannis is going to have a combined 51 points, rebounds, and assists. This is tricky.
Wilbon, I bow to the legend. You were right. I'm taking the under. I don't think this man gonna get 51 points, rebounds, and assists. That's a lot of productivity against that Celtics frontline defense and their perimeter swarming. Take the under.
All right, taking the under on that one. DraftKings Sportsbook is an official sports betting partner of the NBA, and today only, basketball fans can get a risk-free bet on same-game parlay. Get up to $10 in free bets back if your bet does not win. Use the code SPLASH when you sign up.